Hey everyone, it's Joe Axman, and I am here with Mauricio. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your last name, Mauricio. What's your last name?
Fraga,
Fraga.
Fraga.
And Mauricio is in Brazil, and he agreed to join me. And I don't really know Mauricio, but he wanted to be interviewed, so I said yes. And he says he's studied with Tomio Kikuchi, I guess. So
Yes.
Mauricio, why don't you tell your story? How did it all begin for you?
Yes. Thank you, John. A long time ago, I've been had some trouble with diets, with my sport career, and I was looking for a diet that's very simple and become more freedom from choices of food that I like and don't bring me sluggish and don't make me tired and have more awareness for recovery for sports. And I introduced the macrobiotics with grains, cereals, and of course Tomio Kikuchi in São Paulo, and I learned a lot of him and passed some years in Mariporã. That's the city, the home of the school. He have a school there, and trying to be in a level, in a more high level every time, fasting, trying different combinations, different portions, and Lord, of course, the basic rice and the principal food, the 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 secondary. We have a lot of secondary foods, but no magic bullet. Macrobiotics, you have to be very perfect. You don't have to. If you try and error, correct, because you can fail. If you fail, you can be sick, but you have a perfect health and be at the high level.
Very good. So when did you start? What year was that where you met
Uh,
Tomio?
20 years ago,
20
I
years.
became to go to macrobiotic restaurants and see that I can all have all those foods in my home. I can prepare there. I can cook there. I was paying for too much for a plate of rice and some vegetables. I can do it in my home. So I prepare my food and see that macrobiotics is very simple. But the most holes, we have some rules in macrobiotics. That's too much. It's very dangerous. The whole is eat what you need. Don't eat too much. This is a thing that's very important in macrobiotics.
Don't eat too
So
much volume. That's what you're saying.
yes, eat less, eat a little bit. So macrobiotics, the combination is the most important, not the quantity. It's not a diet to bulk up. It's a diet to put your uh, mental awareness in a level that you are very attention and pay attention to everything, alert. And for body, it has some restrictions, of course. You can't be a bodybuilder with macrobiotics. But some sports, like my sport, the triathlon, and running, if you do some adaptations, you can do very well.
So you're an athlete then.
Yes, I'm a triathlete.
Say that again. Oh, what?
Huh?
What kind of athlete? I didn't catch it.
A triathlon. Swim,
I.
bike, run.
Oh,
Swim,
okay.
bike, and run.
So and how do you find that the macrobiotic diet helps a lot with that?
Sorry, Joe, I don't understand.
Do you find that this macrobiotic food helps you become a better athlete?
A lot, because I recover better. I don't have fermentation in my stomach, in my intestine. I have alkaline. That's very important. The foods that we have in macrobiotics, it's very alkaline. So your pH in your blood is along of a lot of years because macrobiotics you pay a foundation. So in a lot of years of doing it, you pay the bills. So you have a very good blood, recover well. sleep well, and for sports, that's very important. You have a quality of blood in a high level.
Yeah. And do you think your performance has noticeably improved?
Yes, improve. Of course, for running, it's very, very sweet. For cycling, because cycling has some power, I did some supplements. I did some to put some supplements, and swim too, because macrobiotics don't eat too much calories. So for biking and swim, you have to put some adjustments. But for running, for a runner, a pure runner, that's a very good diet because
Hmm.
you eat less and become very, very energized. Sorry.
Yeah, no. Now, do you find that you need to supplement more often with other types of like animal food, maybe some fish, or do you abstain
Yes,
from? Yeah,
yes. From time to time, I eat some fish.
yeah,
That's no problem.
yeah.
Uh, but egg, luncho, that's a very good combination in
Right, show.
recycled macro. Luncho, yes, egg, whole egg with shoyu. That's
No,
very strong.
it's very young, maybe too young.
Very
I mean,
young, very young. So if you try to put only young foods, you can have a very strong mind and body. But you can't error. If you error something in macrobiotics, you fail. How I said, you have to be strict. I understand, Joe. You have to know no cheat meal, no cheat meal.
well, I prefer to have harmonious balance, and I do my best. Sometimes I get too young, maybe sometimes I eat too much in, but I like balance there.
Yes, macrobiotics. Yes, that's the point. Macrobiotics give you freedom to do what you want because you
Yeah.
can fast and you can return to your original diet any time. So if
Mhm.
you do some in foods or become a little bit easy, lethargic or bored, you can recover from miso, ume, lancho, and some other ingredients that are very young. Sesame seeds too.
Now, do you enjoy the taste of the food compared to your former diet?
Of course, of course. That's the
Yeah.
point. Macrobiotics is not for quantity. It's the combination is very, very special. Not too much, but the combination is very strong. And the flavor is very, very delicious. If you put, if you know how to cooking, and I have my wife, uh, he have a lot of experience in the kitchen, and he knows exactly how to do a very, very strong rice. That's the whole point of macrobiotics. A strong rice, young, a little bit more in, depends of the season, and with seasoned salt. I don't need anything more.
So, what have you been? Have you been involved in the macrobiotic community these past 20 years? I think you said, or is it just been you
Yes.
and your family mostly, just doing your own thing?
About my family?
No, have you been involved in the macro? I don't know what the macrobiotic community is like in Brazil, but maybe
Yes.
tell me about that. What is it like?
Yes, we have a strong center in São Paulo. I mean, in Salvador. I mean, in the Northwest. Here we had a very strong restaurant, but it's closed now. But they have people because Joe, macrobiotics is very difficult. Especially because I live in Northwest of Brazil. Here is the weather that you live is a very, very strong point in macrobiotics. So
Uh-huh.
here it's hot and humid. Do macrobiotics in the summer here, it's nearly impossible because important thing whole of macrobiotics that don't allow you to drink water. So
No,
we
that's old
introduced,
school.
huh? Yes,
Drink some water. Drink some water. It's okay.
yeah, some water, but not a lot. Not a lot. It depends on the kind of water, the quality of water, the pH. pH 7, pH a little bit 7, a little bit. That's the quality. I told you, macrobiotics talk about quality. It's better to have a glass of good water than 1 liter of bad water.
Oh, sure, sure.
So,
But
in the summer here, very difficult. But years ago, people of macrobiotics trying to use watermelon. Watermelon in a proportion and organic is for me, for athlete too, is refreshing and is a thirst quencher.
watermelon is great. Fruit is great, and in the
Yes,
summer,
yes.
we
Because
need to relax our condition and open up more to balance with the heat from the sun. So it's okay to be more relaxed in the summer and eat foods from warmer climates. So
yes, you have in the summer. Summer is a very most dangerous weather than winter because we have a lot of liquids. It needs more in foods. So it's dangerous. Summer is very dangerous because summer is very young. So we have to use in products. So we have to be careful about fruits, about a lot of liquids, to not in a lot.
well,
But
you
it's a
kind of
very great.
yeah
So,
yeah.
but it's a very great time of the year, and we enjoy a lot of sun here, especially when I live here. As I live, I have a strong summer, a lot of sun, beaches. We have to go out and have some workout, running, and enjoy the beaches, swimming, of course. So the most important in the summer is to pay attention of how much in you put in your body, and of course the what in you put in your body. So I think watermelon, some cucumbers, maybe I like lemons. Microbiota don't allow too much lemons, but I think
Lemons are good,
lemons.
but
Yes, I think lemons is a very important, strong fruit for pH in your intestine, and the Chinese and the Japanese use a lot of lemon. But microbiotics, we have to be a little bit more permissive with your body. If you're doing strict, you can do you can put in foods, especially if you movement a lot. Everything in microbiotics is proportion. If you
yeah,
do a lot of young exercise, strong movements, you can beat a little bit more in. If you stay in your home, stay more static, you can be strict. You can eat too much.
so Mauricio, what else do you do besides your athletic stuff?
Okay, I'm a personal trainer.
Ah,
I'm a personal trainer.
mm-hmm.
I'm trying to teach people how to exercise and of course how to eat better. Talking about
Mm.
macrobiotics every Saturday. Today I have how can I say a live chat with my friends and some students, some mates that are trying to put my experience. How can we're doing here, and talking about microbiome every Saturday night, talking about microbiotics, and people out they tell those experience is very good because we cook some rice and talk about microbiotics, and people are very happy.
That's great because you can guide then your student athletes towards eating better because so
Yes, to eat
so that's
better and to eat less. I think people, even athletes, losing time, eating too much.
hmm
They're
hmm
trying to reach a nutrition point that not is too much. The most important is to eat right and combine the right nutrients in right proportions. That's what we learn with macrobiotics. Eat too much is no good for anyone.
No, it's not. But of course, if you're burning a lot of fuel from running, you need to eat more. Running or cycling, you need to eat more volume, a little bit.
A
Yeah,
little
right.
bit more calories, yes, you can eat a little bit more, of course.
And more rich food, of course.
I think the most important is hydration. That's the point I talk about watermelon. In sports of endurance, Joe, we have a lot of dehydration.
hmm
So the most important is not too much calories. Yes, we have to pay attention to calories and recovery. But hydration
Mm.
It's a very strong point when you're talking about endurance.
Yeah, I bet. So, who is the main macrobiotic teacher in Brazil?
Tomiki Kush has died some years ago. We have the disciples, huh? His students doing a
Mm-hmm.
lot of good job at São Paulo. I told you, here in Salvador, people doing that or don't, but we don't have a strong community here when the city I live.
You
Of
don't
course,
have
I
a
doing
strong
my
community.
part. I doing my homework. Like today, with a meeting with my clients and trying to put my all experience and all my level in microbiotics. You have to do your part. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think that you are doing your part. And do you still
Yes,
go to?
because ethical and socially, I told you, microbiotics is a little bit difficult, of course, because the nutrients, the foods are very specifically, you don't have a lot, too much range, too much abroad of a lot of foods. And they prepare the cooking of the foods are very technical, very specific. You have to dominate it. That's to talk about a very strong woman, because you don't allow men in the kitchen for microbiotics. So woman
Mm.
dominates the kitchen,
Well,
and they
that's a
have
bit. we
that's
allow we
that's a
allow men and women. We allow men and women. Maybe it's a different
yes.
cultural thing, but
And if she knows how to dominate the techniques and how to do it, wow, microbiotics is a very diet, good diet.
so in these past 20 years, what has it been like for you? Did did you start out with any health problems before you became
No,
macro? No.
no, being healthy all those years and more very connected. Wake up early, uh, more adapted to wind, to sun, to fasting, to don't feel too much cold in the winter and don't feel it. That's a very important because you in the macro. The macrobiotic is a diet that you being more energized with the macro of the nature. So I'm energized with the wind, energized with the rain, energized in the summer with the sun. Sun provides much more energizing me than food. That's a level that's very important. I talked today with my client with this. We have some bathing sun, and I told you I have some sun bathing energizes me too much than a lot of food.
Yeah, the sun is great and very important to get
Yeah,
sun every day.
that's a very strong connection with the universe. That's macrobiology teaches the connection with the universe order, universe whole.
Universal order, connection with nature, alignment with that.
Yes,
Uh,
that's the young. That's the young. Food is in. Nature is young.
okay. Now, do you, when you became macrobiotic, and since all these years you've been macrobiotic, how do you think it has affected your mental, emotional nature? Do you notice a big difference there?
A lot of chance. My
Mm.
humor, my patience, my serenity, being more calm, a lot of more calm, be more serious. Uh, let's say appointments too, and very focused, and but mostly calm and serenity. Don't have peaks of the distractions. Don't
Mm.
be very energized and boring. I'm in a tone of temperament, in a tone of especially clarity of thoughts. Very bright.
Mhm.
That's a very fantastic point of microbiotics.
Mhm.
You're thinking crystalline. You
Yeah,
think your thoughts are very lightness
yeah, yeah. Your
because you
mind
have
becomes
a
very
strong
clean.
connection with your intestine in your brain.
Hmm. Hmm. You eat clean food, you start thinking clean thoughts.
Yeah, of
Now,
course.
Yeah.
Over the years of macrobiotics, you become very, very strong with your mind. No
It-
doubt.
oh yeah, yeah. The mind eating whole grain makes your mind very strong.
Yes. No
Uh,
fermentation, no gas.
now, how about
So we have to bite a lot. That's a very another strong point in macrobiotics. We have to chew the
chew your food?
foods and have to bite a lot.
Eat slowly, chew food well.
Slow, very, very slow. That's very, very important to accommodate the food in your intestine. You have to be very slow. You have to prepare the place that you are going to eat, prepare the foods, prepare the whole ambience, the whole to be very the hour that you are eating. It's very, very important.
Hmm. Yeah. Now, how about spirituality, Mauricio? Do you have a connection with spirituality, and did that somehow change since you started macrobiotics?
Yes. Being an athlete, it's in a have my body in a next level. Of course, I'm passing to mental, of course, and then spiritual connection much more. Especially because I have a very strong. I live nearly 1 kilometer, mil meters, 1,000 meters from the beach. So I have two at least one or two dives at the beach every day. That's a very strong connection. I have bathing suns every day. A fasting. I'm doing 20 plus 4 or 16 at minimum fasting plus enjoying macrobiotic food for free for 4 hours. So I do a lot of fasting. I
Ah,
think fasting, like in very, very cultures around the world, it's a very strong connection in your soul.
mm. Have you ever been to any of the macrobiotic summer conferences in either Europe or America? Have you been to the
Sorry,
mac?
bro.
Have you been outside of Brazil toward to the macrobiotic community in America or Europe? Have you
Yes,
investigated
I
that?
know that we have I'm a member of a community in Portugal. We have good people doing macrobiotics at Portugal. I don't remember the city exact. I don't remember.
Lisbon?
But Rui Rato of Portugal is doing a very good job of macrobiotics in Europe.
Yeah, yeah, they are. There and there's a lot of activity there. I interviewed
Yes, he has a restaurant Colmeia because I told you, macrobiotics is not for everyone.
no, it's not for
It's very
everyone.
difficult. Yes, macrobiotics you have to be very disciplined, Joe.
Well, I like to think that it's more based on understanding rather than strong discipline. I think discipline plays a role because we need to control ourselves.
For everything in your life.
But
But
for me,
but
I think understanding is superior to
yes.
discipline.
But another point that in the past years it's very more difficult. But today we can afford those foods in more easy. But it's not difficult to easy to find macrobiotic foods everywhere.
No, it's not.
Instead of a lot of junky food everywhere.
Yeah,
So
there's
the average people can't have time or patience to choice for a macrobiotic diet.
so. Mauricio, do you have any thoughts about the greater macrobiotic community? Do you think there are areas where it needs to work on or pay attention to more, or does it have certain weaknesses that you observed? What do you think about that?
Yes, pay attention for your inner. Try to have a somatic food. Try to combine it. What you eat from what you're thinking. See how kind and how type of thinkings thoughts. Sorry, how type of thoughts you have when you eat. Try to have a pleasure when you're eating. try to discover that you are change a lot of things when you're eating, especially macrobiotic foods. You are doing a lot of changes in your blood, in your thoughts, and try to enjoy it. Chew a lot, biting a lot, and don't be hurry up when you're eating, and have an experience every time you're eating, every time you have a meal. Try to eat to be a different experience, a different a pleasure, and like an experience different in your day, and prepare yourself for it.
What about for anyone who is like you, who is an athlete, who's trying to practice macrobiotics? What are the main things that they could do to become better athletes while eating macrobiotically? Do you understand?
Yes, understand. Uh, you asking me if athletes have some gap doing macrobiotics?
No. Yeah. What's your recommendation for anyone who wants to try and eat
Okay.
macrobiotically and
What kind of
and
food? Brown rice. That's the because we have carbohydrates, and for athletes, very important. For
mhm.
recovery, egg whites, luncheon, with some protein. You need some protein, not too much, because in endurance, like my sport, I don't want to be very bulk. So protein is
Okay.
not a point. So carbohydrates from rice, uh, azuki, beans, and some grains. Oatmeal, I use a lot of oatmeal. That's practical and is a very good food. Of course, vegetables, cucumber, pumpkin, a lot of vegetables too.
Mm.
You don't.
All,
I said, Joe, you don't have a lot of a myriad of mini in macrobiotics. It's very basic, but if you put it, if you fix it in the basic, you going very well.
what about the foods that athletes should avoid the most who are trying to practice
Very
macrobiotics?
good question. Very good question. The most important is not to eat a lot, how I said you, and
Hmm.
to avoid inflammation foods. The first they go to whole not to eat a lot, because if you eat a lot, you go to inflammation.
Mm.
And second time, you have to avoid food that inflammation. Peanuts, like I say, of course, alcohol and refined foods, uh, some very sugar fruits too. Uh, all those foods that can cause inflammation in your intestine, because
Mm.
inflammation is the principle of all the illness, especially for athletes.
So, all these years that you've been macrobiotic, what are some of the highlights for you? What are some of the? Do you have any interesting stories
Yes,
or points that?
yes, that's continuing. Yes, macrobiotics is a diet that avoid inflammation. So we have a body very strong, because uh, we have no inflammation. You have a very how I said you have a blood that's very strong, and recovery very good from day by day, and don't be tired. So inflammation you have to avoid, is the most important to avoid. No, not too much, and not acid foods. Acid.
Acid,
Try to
yeah.
put. Of course, sometimes you eat some acid foods. You have to balance too,
Hmm.
but you have to be alkaline all time. And of course, rice is one of the most alkaline foods. Rice with sesame is very alkaline.
Do you have children?
No,
No children.
I'm alone.
And what else do you want to tell everyone? What's really important to you that you
To
haven't said
try
yet?
to discover, by your way the points of macrobiotics, to trying to try and error and correct, and doing some fasting again, eat, trying some foods, try some combinations. But I said you, Joey, but the most important, enjoy the nature, all the things the mother nature brings you: sun, rain, everything. Try to brace the nature every morning. Every morning, try to go out and see how Mother Nature can contribute to your happiness and contribute to your health too. And then, in second place, try to eat a healthy and some, if it's possible, a microbiotic diet.
Now, do you still
But
go to?
that's what George Oshawa, the father of macrobiotics, told you. The most important is the nature. The nature gives everything to you.
Mhm. Now, do you still study with any teachers? Do you still go to macrobiotic classes, or are you done studying?
No, I have my chat with my meets with my clients, my friends, and I have a lot of good books with George Oshawa. Book that's very hard. I this what my wife uh, brought this bias these books a long time ago. It's very specific and difficult to find. So I have studied them, and he talk about philosophy. He don't talk about food. It's impressive. He talk about the nature, the freedom. George Shawa,
Yeah,
the father. How
but
can
that
we have very free with microbiotics? And I studied these books today, Saturday, and another book that Control Kush. The Kush wrote a lot of good books too.
but and that's all very good. But my only thinking about that is that those are old. They're from the past. One of the benefits of studying with teachers who are alive now is that macrobiotics continues to change and grow and evolve. And if you don't
Yes.
study with the teachers who are teaching now, then your practice can become outdated and too
Yeah,
old school.
but good books gives you this. If you read carefully and practice, a lot of practice. Macrobiotic is practice, like everything in life. You have to practice.
But my
So
recommendation is
the body gives you the answer.
but my recommendation, not just
Always,
for you, but
always,
for everyone,
always,
is to stay
always.
up.
Looking for your stomach, your reactions, how you go to the bath, everything. Is pay attention to all the things that quality of thoughts, all the things that you have around you, and you are doing really macrobiotics.
But Mauricio, my point is that you have to stay up to date with the current understanding of macrobiotics. So it's important to go to classes with teachers today. Anyway,
Yes.
that's just my opinion. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. That's what I think is important.
It's very important. I agree with you, Joe. It's a pleasure for me if I have more people to how can I share my
Yeah.
experience in macrobiotics here, especially here. But I try to information people. But people, when I talk about fasting and macrobiotics, for some people it's very crazy. You understand me? Not everybody afford the information of macrobiotics. For some people, it's very radical.
Okay, Mauricio. So what is there any final words that you want to say? Because I don't really have any more questions to ask you.
No, I try to have a. I'm appreciate a lot talking about. It's a pleasure. I'm very proud to be with you and be affordable for any time you want.
Affordable.
Thank you very much, Joe.
Thank you, Maurice.
Stay tuned, and eat health. Eat slow. Eat health. Eat slow. Eat carefully.
Very good.
Because food is a piece of your blood. Never forget this. Each piece of food is doing for your blood.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, Mauricio, it's been a
Thank you,
pleasure
Joe.
speaking with you. This will be on my
Have
website,
a great weekend. Stay tuned.
themacrobioticdiet.com. I'll put it on YouTube and I'll share it on Facebook. And I'm open for macrobiotic counseling on my website if anyone wants to
Yes.
see me.
Put your comments and see you.
All right. Thank you so much,
Bye.
Mauricio. Bye
Thank
bye.
you very much, Joe. See you. Thank you.